Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into a story that shook Japan and the world. A tragic tale of a young girl's kidnapping, the relentless search that followed, and the shocking outcome that left many questioning how something like this could happen. This is the story of Ana Saito and her abductor, Kabu Terauchi. It all began in March 2014 in Saitama Prefecture, Japan, where Ana Saito was abducted. Ana Saito was a bright and cheerful 13-year-old middle school student, living a normal life with her family. But her life was forever changed on the evening of March 10th, when she disappeared without a trace on her way home from school. What was the reason? For Terauchi, it was just an experiment. I want to confine them and observe them. I want to kidnap and confine a middle or high school girl, isolate her from society, and observe how she changes. These disturbing thoughts were the mindset of Terauchi when he began planning his crime as far back as February 2012. To prepare, he immersed himself in articles and books about past kidnappings, confinement, and brainwashing cases, trying to formulate a clear and terrifying vision of what he wanted to do. His preparations were meticulous and sinister. On December 24th and 25th, 2013, he stole license plates in Tokyo and Kanagawa prefectures to avoid detection. In late February 2014, he checked the event schedules of junior high schools in Osaka and Niiza cities in Saitama Prefecture online. From March 4th to 6th, he followed female junior high school students walking home alone, photographing their backs and homes until he identified his victim, Ana Saito. Then, on March 10th, as Ana was returning home from school, Terauchi lured her into his car by deceit, telling her that her parents were getting divorced and he was their lawyer. He then forced her to write a note asking her parents not to look for her, which he dropped in the mailbox. Once she was in the car, she was blindfolded and told that the story of her parents' divorce was a lie. His even more outrageous lie was that her parents were in debt and planning to sell her organs to pay off their debts. Who is Kabu Terauchi? Kabu Terauchi, a then 23-year-old university student, was the man responsible for Ana Saito's disappearance. Terauchi was known to be an intelligent but introverted individual from a well-off family. His defense team later claimed he had been bullied as a child and isolated from the world. He was a graduate of Chiba University and had earned his pilot's license. Terauchi, who excelled in languages, once boasted, "The person I think is the most amazing is Shoko Asahara," and was said to be an avid reader of books related to Aum Shinrikyo, psychology, and brainwashing. No one could have imagined that he was capable of such a heinous act. But on that fateful day in March, Terauchi abducted Ana in broad daylight. He drove her to his apartment in Tokyo, where he held her captive for over 2 years. 2014 to 2016, for over 2 years, Ana remained missing. Her family never gave up hope, continuing to believe that she would one day return home. Meanwhile, the public began to lose faith as it seemed Ana had simply disappeared without a trace. But behind the scenes, something far more sinister was unfolding. During these 2 years, Kabu Terauchi kept a close and malevolent watch over Ana Saito. He forced her to repeatedly write and recite the words, "I've been abandoned. I have no place to go back to." As part of his psychological manipulation, he even extracted a substance from morning glory seeds, similar to LSD, which he mixed into her food to make her feel ill. Despite occasional lapses in Terauchi's vigilance, where doors or windows were left unlocked, Ana's escape attempts were few and ultimately unsuccessful. Each time she tried to flee, she returned to the apartment, convinced that she had no one to turn to. Ana Saito's statement, read aloud at the trial, revealed her harrowing escape attempts. On one occasion, she fled to a nearby park and tried to speak to a mother with her child, only to be dismissed. She then approached an elderly woman who also refused to help. Ana recalled feeling devastated. "I was shocked and in despair because no one would listen to me. I thought no one would help me." With those words echoing in her mind, she returned to Terauchi's apartment, believing that she truly had nowhere else to go. The words "abandoned" and "without a place to go back to" kept going round and round in my head, and my tears stopped flowing. It's like I lost all feelings of happiness and sadness. Terauchi's actions were cold and calculated. He used threats and manipulation to control Ana, keeping her confined and isolated. He tried to distort reality, making his apartment seem like a safe place where Ana was kept well-fed and even given toys to play with. Though Ana was never physically abused, she lived in constant fear and uncertainty, unsure if she would ever see her family again. The breakthrough came in March 2016, exactly 2 years after Ana's abduction. While searching the internet when Terauchi wasn't looking, Ana found messages her parents had posted online. Messages like, "We're on your side. We'll always be waiting for you." These messages gave Ana the hope she needed to believe that her family would accept her and that everything would be okay. In a moment of desperation and courage, Ana managed to escape on March 27th. She fled to a nearby convenience store and contacted the police, who quickly responded and took her to safety. The nightmare was finally over, but the trauma would remain. Kabu Terauchi was arrested shortly after Ana's escape. On March 28th, he was found walking along a road in Shizuoka Prefecture with self-inflicted injuries. He asked a passing newspaper delivery man for help, saying, "I tried to kill myself, but I couldn't. Please call the police." When he was discovered, he was covered in blood and had cut his neck with a box cutter. He was immediately taken into custody and later charged with multiple offenses, including kidnapping and unlawful confinement. The trial. Over 400 people gathered to witness the trial of Kabu Terauchi. During the trial, Terauchi's defense team attempted to argue that he was mentally unstable. At his first hearing at the Saitama District Court, he repeatedly made bizarre statements such as, "I'm 16 years old, and I'm a forest fairy," earning him the nickname, the Forest Fairy. Despite these claims, he was later sentenced to 9 years in prison. However, both the defense and the prosecution appealed. The High Court overturned the initial sentence, stating that the first trial did not properly evaluate the maliciousness of psychological restraint and increased his sentence to 12 years in prison, finalizing the judgment. Ana Saito shared her feelings about Terauchi's punishment, saying, "I don't want him to be released from prison after 3 to 5 years. I want him to be in prison for more than 10 years. I want him to be sentenced to life imprisonment so that he will never be able to leave." The story of Ana Saito and Kabu Terauchi sparked a national conversation about child safety and the judicial system in Japan. Many were left questioning how a young girl could be held captive for so long without anyone noticing, and whether the system had failed to protect her. In the years following Ana's rescue, there have been efforts to improve child protection laws in Japan. Advocacy groups have called for stricter penalties for crimes against children and better support systems for victims. Ana herself has remained largely out of the public eye, focusing on rebuilding her life. Understandably, the trauma she endured has left deep scars, but she has shown remarkable resilience. While Ana's story ended in her rescue, many questions still linger. Could this tragedy have been prevented? What more can be done to protect the vulnerable among us? And what lessons can we learn from Ana's ordeal? As we reflect on Ana's story, it's important to remember the countless others who may still be suffering in silence. Her case is a stark reminder of the dangers that exist in our world and the importance of vigilance, empathy, and action. Thank you for watching. If you found this video important, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more content like this. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. What do you think should be done to prevent cases like this in the future? Until next time, stay safe and take care.